Hello and welcome to Stuff and Things with Chris. I'm your host Chris. Today I'm going to go through another category on Netflix full of shows that you can binge watch while you are sitting around the house bored out of your gourd. Curse you, coronavirus. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the dramas that are on Netflix. Now, as per usual, my list is going to include some shows that have subtitles. There's one that's dubbed, and there's one that's an actual Netflix original. So, without further ado, let's kick it off. So I'm going to start off with a German show called Babylon Berlin. Now, this just started its third season. This is a German production, and it's a huge, lavish spectacle. It's got a lot of big set pieces in it. It follows multiple characters in 1930s Germany, early 1930s. So this is before Hitler has come to power, but you kind of get the feeling that that's where we're headed in this show. So this is kind of the European flapper era, late 20s, early 30s, jazz clubs, all of those kinds of things that go along with that. So we follow a police detective who's investigating a crime, and we follow a young girl who's trying to just make her way, wants to basically have a lot of fun and be successful at what she does. And she develops kind of a rapport with the police detective and ends up kind of working for the police, which is, taboo back in those times. You can't have a female policeman. So, she assists him and he has her kind of employed as a secretary kind of a thing, but she's way more than that. And so it sounds like a police procedure kind of show, but it's not really, because there's a whole lot of other plots going on here. There's a lot of undercurrents. There's romance. There's a lot of political things, obviously, from the time period, as well as kind of a murder mystery thing that's going on. So that's why I put it in this category instead of the police procedural category. It's not really a cop show. It's pretty much a drama that happens to be about a policeman. Highly recommend this show. Now, Babylon Berlin is actually dubbed, so you can watch it in English. That way you don't have to mess with any subtitles whatsoever. To each his own. I prefer watching the actual actors speak their original language, but whatever, it's all good. Check it out, Babylon Berlin. They just started their third season on Netflix. This is a very popular show in Germany, by the way, and it's a big hit. So next on my list is Ozarks. Their third season is starting soon. Now, Ozarks is, again, a dark drama, okay? It stars Will Arnett in a very dramatic role. He and his family going about and doing things. He is an accountant, and he ends up in a situation where he is basically cleaning money for the Mexican drug cartel, and then that spirals out of control, and he ends up having to move his whole family to the Lake of the Ozarks, and more wackiness ensues. I mean, he ends up in a mess after mess after mess, but he happens to be brilliant at finding ways to make and hide money illegally. Now, wasn't how he started off. His partner was doing that in his accounting firm, but Will Arnett's character was not doing that. He was not a part of that. He was completely legitimate until he was left with the choice of, give us our money back that your partner stole, or we're going to kill you. And so he starts on this elaborate thing of, well, I can make you way more money than that guy did. And it kind of spirals out of control from there. There's other people who get involved. Okay, this is a good show. It's not a happy show. Okay, this is not a comedy drama by any stretch of the imagination. This family goes through some rough stuff. There's a lot of shady characters in this. It's well written. It does keep you kind of edge of your seat. Definitely binge watch this one. I mean, you watch one, you're like, what's this fool going to do now? Okay, it's one of those kind of shows where there's just so many things happening that this guy gets involved with that you rush to figure out how he's going to get it all straightened out. But I would definitely recommend it. The first two seasons were excellent. I'm sure the third will be also. Ozarks. So next is Nobel. Now, Nobel is from Norway. And no, it is not a drama about cross-country skiing or speed skating. This is a political drama, would be what I would categorize it in. It's about a husband and a wife. Now, what's different about this show than, say, the first seasons of House of Cards is that the politician in this duo is the wife. The husband is a military member of the Norwegian army, I believe, and he has been in Afghanistan serving over there, and he has come back. So while he has been shot at and going through all the things that you go through in war, she has been working on her political career and trying to climb up the corporate ladder. So he comes back to kind of a unique situation. He's not real sure how to integrate back into society after what he's witnessed and what he's done overseas. It's a good show. It has a lot of diverging paths, you know, her political career and how she's going to get through it and what she has to do to climb up the ladder in politics, and his goings on and how is he going to mesh back in to everyday life, as well as how are the two of them going to keep their marriage together, because at this point they are two totally different people on totally separate paths. I would definitely check that one out. Now, it is only one season long, so that limits its bingeability. You could theoretically watch it all in one day. They're about 40 minutes each. That would be some dedication to the binging, but you could probably get it done in one, definitely 2 days. That doesn't mean it's not worth watching. Okay, it's a really good show, highly recommend it. It tells you a whole lot about the issues of politics that are going on in that part of the world, particularly, of course, with the big brother in the area, Russia. Nobel, check it out. Next, we're going to switch veins a little bit and get back into the criminal stuff. Gomorrah. Now, this was a movie that came out probably about 5 or 6 years ago. If you haven't seen the movie and you like mafia movies, it's one of the best there's ever been. Okay, Gomorrah is a out of this world fantastic movie. It is not like The Godfather. It is not like Goodfellas. It's not like Casino. It is a hardcore, by the books, here's what happens in real life kind of movie about the mafia in Naples, Italy. It is brutal. Now, when I heard they were going to make a television show based on that movie, I was a little leery because sometimes that doesn't turn out real well. But this show is good. It maintains all the just ethereal nature and hard driving edge that the movie had. It's almost like watching a documentary. It is a fantastic show. If you like mafia shows, it is one of the best out there. It's not kind of the highly stylized stuff that was going on in The Godfather or a lot of those Scorsese mafia movies. This is real. Okay, these are real families doing real things, and the violence that comes and goes and part of that lifestyle. Very good show. It's in Italian. It is dubbed. There is only one season right now. They are working on a second season, or they were working on a second season. We'll have to see if it actually comes out or not. Again, Gomorrah, very good show. Okay, last on this list, and I consider it the best in this category, is Mr. Sunshine. This is a Korean TV show. This is a spectacle to behold. It reminds me of the glory days of the 80s when you had those miniseries like North and South and Winds of War and Roots and these big spectacle 2.5 hour long things that went on for days. This has a lot of that feel. This is an enormous story. It's set in the middle of a very tumultuous period in Korea's history where they were occupied by Japan. So this is the early 1900s. And it involves a cast of characters too many to name. But you have basically a main character who goes by Eugene. Now you may be thinking that's a strange name for a Korean character in a TV show. And that's because he starts out as a kid and he's going to be sold into slavery, but he escapes to the United States with the help of some missionaries, and he becomes a Marine. So he comes back to what they call Joseon, is what they call this period of Korean history when they're occupied by Japan. He comes back to this region as basically a attaché for the United States government, and he goes by Eugene. They've given him an American name. Now he quickly becomes embroiled in a romance with a nobleman's daughter, who it turns out has a bunch of secrets of her own. Now during this period in Korean history, there were two sides. There were the Koreans who were for the Japanese, they supported the Japanese, and then there were the ones who wanted independence, and they mixed together, and there were a lot of conflicts between those two groups, as well as just the Japanese in general and how they occupied the land. This TV show gets into all of that. There are huge battle scenes in this. There is a love triangle in this. Very good. It's very well done. I mean, you really feel for all three people involved in this love triangle. There's spies, there's double agents, there's assassination attempts, there's, atrocities committed by the occupiers. There's a lot of class distinctions drawn in this show. It's very good at centering on non-traditional characters, so there's a lot of lower class and female protagonists in this show and what they are doing to kind of help the independent movement. And of course, the problem Eugene has is he has to watch all this as kind of an outsider. And what choices is he going to make? Is he going to pick a side as a member of the U.S. government? That could have some serious ramifications. Or does he just embrace his Korean heritage and forget his American heritage altogether? So this is a very well done show. Now this show was the most successful TV show ever in Korea. It had nearly 20% of the population watching it every time it came on. Each episode is about an hour to an hour and a half long. And man, the cinematography in this is amazing. The scenes are very well done. The setting is great. They really did a fantastic job. They basically built a 1900s Korean village from the Joseon period and recreated it on a soundstage, so the authenticity is through the roof. Like I said, it's got amazing ups and downs and twists and turns, while at the same time punishing you with some serious romantic drama stuff. This is an amazing show. It's one of my top 10 on Netflix. The Koreans know how to make movies and they know how to make TV shows. This is another good one. Okay. So check this one out, Mr. Sunshine. It's got 15 episodes. They're all pretty long, so this will definitely take up some time if you need it to be taken up. So there's my list of bingeable dramas on Netflix. If you have any suggestions or anything you think I left off this list, or something you might want me to check out because you're not sure you want to commit yourself to entire binging of it, write it down in the comment section below and let me know. Also, please like, subscribe, click the button so you can know when I have more entertaining reviews coming out. I will talk to you later.